So we're going to be doing a plank series here. So bring the shoulders over the heel of the hands and then step yourself back into a full plank position. Hold it in this space just for a couple of breaths. Thinking about pushing the heels back, crown forward, and keeping that engagement through the centre of the body by drawing the belly back and tethering those ribs and hips towards each other. So rolling onto your right side, have your left foot in front of your right. You can drop that right knee down if you wish for a little support, or keep both legs nice and straight. Lifting that left hand up to the ceiling, gazing up towards that left thumb. Hold it here, find the support of both feet, one in front of the other, left in front of the right. One more breath in this space. Then bring that left hand down, find full plank. Hold it in full plank just for a breath. Then you guessed it, we go over to the left side. So turn onto the left hand, reach the right hand up. Remember, you can drop that left knee down if you wish, or keep both legs straight, right front foot in front of the left. Gazing up towards that right thumb. Try not to let the hips push back, push them towards that right side of the mat. Keeping a nice long line from the crown of the head down to that outside edge of the right foot. Come back to full plank. Hold it in full plank just for a breath. Remember, you can drop your knees here if you need to, if it feels a little more challenging. Then again, roll over onto your right side. This time bring your left hand to your left hip. If you want to drop that right knee, drop it down and move the right hand a little further forward. Taking it into hip dips 3 times. Drop the right hip towards the floor. Lift the left hip towards the ceiling. 1, drop the right hip to the floor. Lift the left hip up to the ceiling. 2, one more, drop the right hip to the floor. Lift the left hip up to the ceiling. 3, neutralize in the centre. Bring your left hand back. Find your full plank for a couple of breaths. Feeling nice and strong, soft in the elbows. Push strong into the hands, widen the fingers to give a good grounding and support. Roll over onto your left side. Again, drop the left knee if you need to, or keep it straight. Right hand on right hip. Hip drops this side. Let the left hip come down to the floor. Then lift that right hip up towards the ceiling. 1, drop the left hip to the floor. Right hip up to the ceiling. 2, one more. Drop that left hip, keep that left elbow soft. Lift that right hip to the ceiling. Find that neutral space. Then come back to full plank. Holding it here for a couple of breaths. Again, drop the knees if it's feeling a little too strong. Again, roll over now onto your right side. Still with that left foot in front of the right. Or if you want to take it a little more challenging, stack that left foot on top of the right. Bring your left hand behind the back of the head. Keep soft in that right elbow. Remember, you can drop that right knee if you need to the floor. Out breath, bring left elbow towards the right. In breath and lift. 2 more, left elbow towards the right. And in breath and lift. If you want to support it more, left foot in front of the right. Left elbow to right elbow. In breath and lift. Bring both hands down to the floor. Find that full plank just for a couple of breaths. Then roll over onto your left side. Bring your right hand behind the back of the head. Drop the left knee if you need to. Stack the right foot if you want to. Out breath, bring right elbow towards the left. In breath, lift. Out breath, right elbow to left elbow. And in breath, lift. One more time if you need to bring that right foot in front. And lift. Bring your right hand down to meet the left. And find full plank position for a breath. So holding full plank, we're going to bring right knee to right elbow 3 times, keeping the body in a nice long line. On your out breath, right elbow touches right knee touches right elbow. In breath, send it back. And again, and back. One more time. And back. And then take it on your left side, left elbow and left knee to touch. Hips stay low. And back. Two more. And back. One more. And back. Lift the hips, find down dog, just to take the pressure off those shoulders for a couple of breaths. Have a nod, have a shake of the head. Then find your plank position again. And this time we're going to come down one forearm at a time, then come back up onto the hands. So keeping that nice long line through the body, drop down onto the right forearm, drop down onto the left. Step up with the right hand, step up with the left. Opposite hand, drop down with the left forearm, drop down with the right. Step up with the left hand, step up with the right. One more both sides. Right arm comes down, left arm comes down, right hand brings us up, left hand to bring us back. Left hand to drop us down, left arm to join, left hand to lift us up, right hand to meet the left. Lift up with the hips, start to paddle those feet, send the gaze back towards the toes, the knees or the hips. Then bring the heels to stillness, come back forward to a plank, roll onto your right side, left hand lifts. You can drop that right knee if you wish, or keep both legs straight. We're going to lift that left leg. So on your in-breath, left leg lifts. Out breath, release it back to meet the right. Two more this side. In-breath, lift. Out breath, release. Keep those left toes back to the shins. One more. Lift. And release. Come back to full plank. Hold it in that space for a couple of breaths. Then roll over on to your left side. Right hand lifts. In breath, lift that right leg up to hip height, toes back to the shins. And out breath, release. In breath, lift. Try not to let the hips push back. Out breath, release. One more lift. And release. Come back to full plank. Hold it in that space. Holding nice and strong in the centre, soft through the elbows. Breathing easy, breathing deeply. Then lift the hips and squeeze the heels back. Have a nod, have a shake of the head. We're just going to come back forward to a plank again. Drop down onto the forearms. Have train track arms, widen the fingers, push into those forearms, push into the toes. We're going to hold it here for 30 seconds. If you need to drop the knees, feel free to drop those knees. Squeezing the bum, drawing the belly back. The lower we come into forearm plank, the more it demands of that core to hold you in this space, as those shoulders have come fully in line with the hips rather than being slightly higher. In full plank. Long breaths in, long breaths out. 30 seconds finished, drop the knees, walk the hands back towards the knees, swing the legs around. We have one more plank variation to do, which will be reverse plank. So hands come behind the body, either fingertips pointing in if you wish, or pointing out if that feels better on the wrists. Heels push into the mat. As you breathe in, we push the heels in, we send the toes towards the front of the mat, trying to flatten off the feet. As we squeeze the bum to lift those hips as high as we can, to get a long line again from the crown of the head down to those toes. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release those bums back down. Give those hands a little shake. Release through those wrists. We will take that one more time, this time one leg lift at a time. So find the hands behind the back of the body, push into the heels, lift up the hips, point the toes down. In breath, lift the right leg. Out breath, release. In breath, lift the left leg. Out breath, release. One more on both sides. In breath, lift the right, keep the hips high. Out breath, release. In breath, lift the left. Out breath, release. Bring the bums to the floor. Take a shake of those hands. Take a breath in, raise the hands to the ceiling. Bring the hands back to the chest. Close the eyes. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out completely. Namaste.